Hello everyone, halfway there. So here we go with News Roundup number 113. Interesting insight into the makeup of British society in the Independent newspaper. A report published by the Social Mobility and Child Poverty Commission says that a cosy club of people educated at private schools and Oxbridge still dominates politics, the judiciary and media. The report calls for class to be given as much priority as gender and ethnicity in a national mission to break open an elite formed on the playing fields of independent schools and finished in Oxbridge's dreaming spires. It seems that 71% of senior judges, 62% of senior armed forces officers, 55% of Whitehall permanent secretaries, 50% of House of Lords members and 43% of newspaper columnists were privately educated, and so were 36% of the cabinet, 33% of MPs, 33% of the England cricket team and 26% of BBC executives. And if you think about the number or the percentage of people to whom that applies, you're probably talking about 5%. I call it iniquitous. Racing ahead in a poll to find Britain's national bird is the robin, says the Daily Mail. The Vote National Bird poll also reveals that the hen harrier and the red kite, both threatened with extinction, are currently in the top 10. Unlike most countries, Britain has no official bird, although the robin did come top in a previous poll in 1966. My grandmother would love it if the robin became our national bird. The Ice Bucket Challenge, to raise money for charity, is sweeping the country, but it had unfortunate consequences for 20-year-old Isabel Roberts from Tipton in the West Midlands, according to a story in the Daily Mirror. Isabel shouted so hard when the freezing water was poured over her that she dislocated her jaw. She said, "The water was so cold, so I screamed, but as I did it, my jaw just started to stick. I tried to close my mouth, but it would not close. It was locked, and then I came to the realization that something was up." Poor girl. There was a lucky escape for 9-year-old Springer Spaniel dog Sprig, reports the Daily Express. Sprig fell nearly 1,000 feet from Britain's tallest cliffs and then spent more than a week clinging to a rocky ledge, surviving by licking moisture from rocks and moss. When the dog vanished at Foreland Point, North Devon, his owners organised search parties, but he wasn't discovered until 8 days later by a passing lifeboat crew who had gone to the help of a stranded sheep. Oh, poor Sprig. That's amazing to stay up there for 8 days. I wonder if we could hold on for that long. Plant power. Psychologists reckon that putting plants in an office makes workers more productive. The Daily Mail quotes a report in the Journal of Experimental Psychology claiming that introducing greenery to Spartan workplaces led to a 15% rise in output. A study by researchers from Cardiff University concluded data from the present findings indicate that a green working environment is consistently more enjoyable for employees, more conducive to concentration, and more productive for the business than its lean equivalent. Let's extrapolate that a little, shall we, and think about green spaces in the areas that we live in the middle of cities. Do you think that would be a good idea? Some people go nuts over royal memorabilia, and a Daily Telegraph story tells us that a collector has paid $1,375, or £888, for a piece of cake from the 1981 wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. The cake, still in its original white and silver presentation box, was sold online at a Los Angeles auction house. More money than sense, some people. Also highly valued is the first ever Range Rover car, which, says the BBC, is expected to go for about £140,000 at an auction. The car was made at the Rover factory in Solihull in 1969 and still has its original engine. It was considered lost for a number of years after its original green paintwork was resprayed gold and the number plate was changed, but since 1991 has been on display in the showroom of the Land Rover Centre in Huddersfield. Sales manager Mark Griffiths said, "I'm one of the few people who've driven it in the last 23 years. It's probably done less than 100 miles. Well, I can more understand paying that for a car than I can nearly £1,000 for a piece of old cake." And there we are, the end of News Roundup 113. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.